Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's Good Tues Newsday, which means we're covering all the good news that you need to know about to make yourself feel hopeful in humanity again. This is the one and only international game show where we roll a wheel, we just got coffee in our bodies, and we are learning to read live on stream. Let's get into today's headlines. Today on Good Tues Newsday. World's first pig to human liver transplant keeps patient alive for months. And
wow.
Woman becomes longest survivor of heart and lung transplant.
Greetings from the United States for Good Tues Newsday. We have the entire nation has been declared a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve by the United Nations. And meet the physicists who wrote over 2,000 Wikipedia biographies for women in STEM. Yeah, she's been busy.
Southern right whales make a splash in Patagonia, delighting tourists from extinction.
And also, what are gosh hawks and why are they being brought to UK cities?
Boots, the Netflix sleeper hit that's a stunning indictment of military homophobia.
And it's National Be Bald and Be Free Day. So since I'm not bald, I'll stay locked up. It's October 15th, 2025 on Before Coffee.
Maybe I'm a weirdo, but I've never had an issue with bald people. I don't think they're disgusting. I don't think, they should hide away. But I know there are men out there who are insecure. And of course, women also can get bald. Are very insecure about not having hair. And I just, it's not exactly something I put on my docket, Oh, if you're bald, don't talk to me. I'm like, people don't choose to be bald. Some people do, but most people don't. So why should I say, a disgusting creature to people who are bald?
Yeah, it doesn't make you good. It doesn't make you bad.
Yeah,
Curly didn't have no hair. Curly.
Yeah,
why
so
do
be
you
free.
call him Curly?
Let people rub that head for good luck. No, I'm just kidding. That's something that they do way too much to bald people. So I hear.
Why do you call him Curly? He with no hair. He's called Curly. It makes no sense.
Maybe something else is curly, like his toenails.
This man tiny. He weighs 300 pounds. 300 pounds. You call him tiny. I'm sorry.
Let's roll our segue for our first
We don't get
stories.
irony. Our first story is going
to be about sarcasm. So, these are all medical updates. So, what medicine has been able to achieve in our short lives, and this is the first pig to human liver transplant that has kept a patient alive for months. Saying, usually they might die within a month or something because your body goes, first of all, this isn't human. Second of all, this isn't yours. Who put this liver in here? And then they destroy it, all your white blood cells. This is from Ella Pickover on The Independent. In a medical first, doctors have successfully transplanted a pig liver into a human patient who subsequently lived for almost half a year. The 71-year-old man's own liver was irreversibly scarred by hepatitis B and cancer, making him ineligible for a human transplant. This marks the first time a genetically modified pig liver has been used for therapeutic purposes in a living person. Previous cases involved 2 brain-dead patients as preparatory work.
Trump voters.
Sorry?
You said brain dead. I said Trump voters.
Writing in the Journal of Hepatology, researchers said they have found that genetically modified pig livers can support key metabolic and synthetic functions in humans. Basically, they can do their job as a liver. For in layman terms, they work right. Scientists in China describe how they implanted an auxiliary graft from a genetically modified Dannon miniature pig. These gene edits were designed to enhance organ compatibility, so that your body accepts the new liver. For the first months, medics found that the graft functioned effectively, but on day 38, the graft was removed following complications linked to the transplant, a condition called xenotransplantation-associated thrombotic microangiopathy, XTMA. What does that mean? If we can explain what that means? He had a condition. We're not going to explain what the condition is, but he had it, okay? Xenotransplantation-associated thrombotic microangiopathy is a serious complication that can occur after transplanting organs from a genetically modified animal, such as pigs, into humans. It involves thrombosis in small blood vessels, leading to potential organ damage. It requires careful management to address the associated risk. Of course, thrombosis, which I don't know what that is either, so I have to look that up. I think it's something to do with your veins. Is the formation of blood clots inside blood vessels, which can obstruct blood flow.
There you go.
So, there you go.
That's what it is.
Ooh. Basically, on day 38 of this graft, being in this human, who was basically being a live guinea pig, the veins got clotted and the grafted liver was no longer getting any blood, so it was just going to die inside of you. And you don't want that because you can get sepsis, so they had to remove it. Researchers reported that the treatment resolved the XTMA, but despite this, the patient died 171 days after the transplant. So this might not be due to the pig liver, but the fact that there was a blood clotting that happened. But I think that's probably because it says xenotransplantation associated. That indicates that because the liver was from not a human being, the body shut down the veins, saying, oh, this thing is stealing all your blood. We need to stop it. We need to clot it up so it doesn't steal your blood. The body doesn't know you want it to get blood. You can't tell, hey, actually that liver is supposed to be there. Can you please not clot? This case proves that a genetically engineered pig liver can function in a human for an extended period, said lead investigator Dr. Beck Shang-sun from the first affiliated hospital of Anhui Medical University in China's Anhui province. It is a pivotal step forward, demonstrating both the promise and the remaining hurdles, particularly regarding coagulation, dysregulation, and immune complications that must be overcome. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the immune system attacked the liver. Unless you consider the thrombosis the attack, right? Like, we're just going to clot your veins. Which I'm not a doctor, so I don't know. But maybe they do consider it a type of reaction, immune complication reaction. In an accompanying editorial, Dr. Heiner Wedemeyer, co-author of the journal who reported this, what was it again? The Hepatology Journal, co-opted this, said, this report is a landmark in hepatology. It shows that a genetically modified porcine liver can engraft and deliver key hepatic functions to a human recipient. At the same time, it highlights the biological and ethical challenges that remain before such approaches can be translated into wider clinical use. Remember, it took a long time for them to even use a heart transplant, where you could put a cow valve into your heart, I think it was. And it took a while for that to stick, and for them to figure out all the complications so that they could actually put like a different valve in your heart so your heart can still work. Xenotransplantation may open.
Plus, to make the two-year cud.
Yeah, you're now half cow. Xenotransplantation can open completely new paths for patients with acute liver failure, acute on chronic liver failure, and hepatocellular carcinoma, which that sounds like cancer. A new era of transplant hepatology has started. When a human receives an organ, tissues, or cells from an animal, it is known as a xenotransplant. Pigs are the most promising donor animals due to the availability of the animal, gene editing technology, plus their size is similar to human organs. Yeah, a cow's heart is way bigger, I think, than a human's heart. Overcoming the rejection of pig organs by the human immune system has been a complex challenge for more than 4 decades. But gene editing technology and new techniques to suppress the immune system have shown promise in several recipients. The first person in the world to have a heart transplant from a genetically modified pig was David Bennett. The operation took place in 22, and the 57-year-old died 2 months after the procedure, which took place in the University of Maryland Medical Center in the U.S. The first recipient of a genetically modified kidney transplant died nearly 2 months after he underwent the procedure. Richard Sleeman had the transplant at Massachusetts General Hospital in 24, age 62. So it does seem like they probably, when you sign up to be in this procedure, they say, just to let you know, the people who have done these procedures and other organs have only lived like 2 months. So, but this person lived half a year, almost half a year. So that's actually a huge milestone. Everyone else has been living for 2 months with different transplants.
Okay.
And
2 months
obviously it's a
just
different. Yeah, it's obviously a different thing depending on which transplant you get, because a different organ has a different effect on the body. But there's my first story. Medical mumbo jumbo.
We don't know if the pig. We don't know if the pig was a smoker or a drinker.
No, we don't.
Lifestyle
sadly.
pig head. No. All right. My sarcasm. The hearts and lungs and the kidneys and liver were donated to the patient or whatever. The rest of it was donated to the kitchen.
Well, I hope so. I don't know what they do with the pig.
Bacon time! Oh yeah.
Some
What are
dog
we eating?
food,
What do we have
maybe,
for breakfast today? Imagine that guy, like he's got the heart and he's got all these organs from a pig, and he's actually eating the same pig for breakfast. That's no.
That'd be crazy. Maybe that's why he got
cannibalism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't eat pork anymore. He probably was on a strict diet of intravenous fluids for the rest of his life. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah,
Did these guys even
no
leave
idea.
the hospital? Did they leave the
Maybe,
hospital? Or
They did not give
hooked
me
up to
any
the
details. Maybe it's in the study.
Right.
Our next story is about a heart and lung transplant survivor. This is also from
another
Ella
one.
Pickover on the. I guess she's the Ella Pickover is the official transplant correspondent on The Independent. The UK's longest surviving heart and lung transplant recipient has described how she was given a gift of a normal life. Katie Mitchell had a combined heart and lung transplant 38 years ago. The 53-year-old from Sidcup in southeast London has inspired other transplant recipients who may think they have only a few years to live after their transplant or be fearful of organ rejection. The operations this is not from a pig, by the way. This is just a normal human transplant. The operation manager had her transplanted at Royal Papworth Hospital, NHS for Duchess Trust in 1987. Thanks to the organ donation, I was given the gift of a normal life, she said. I think about my donor a lot, especially on the anniversary of the transplant. I think about their family and what their family must have felt at the time. I just know my donor was a young female. Her family made the decision at a terrible time in their lives. I am so grateful. It's quite difficult to put into words how it feels to know I am the longest lived heart-lung recipient in the UK. It's mixed feelings. People I know who've had the same transplant have passed away in front of me. But it's a blessing and amazing to feel I've had all this extra time. I don't really know why it has worked so well. Perhaps the immunosuppressants suit me well. Everybody has so many different reactions to medication, and everyone has their own regimen. When she was 11, Miss Mitchell was diagnosed with a rare congenital heart disease called Eisenmenger syndrome. She had high blood pressure in her pulmonary arteries, which caused an increased resistance to blood flow to the lungs. This led to reversible lung damage and heart failure. By the time she was 15, medics feared she was coming to the end of her life. Miss Mitchell, who is married and has a stepdaughter, had a transplant in 1987 in September. The procedure was carried out just 3 years after Royal Papworth carried out Europe's first successful combined heart-lung transplant in 1984. Even now, the procedures are rare, with only around 5 carried out each year in the UK. There are currently 8,124 people on the transplant waiting list, including 12 people waiting for a heart and lung transplant. Miss Mitchell's transplant is still functioning well. In addition, she has had 2 kidney transplants from deceased donors in 1994 and 2015. I went to an event at Papworth and there were a couple of young women who had their heart-lung transplants recently, she said. I think it did them good and their parents good to see how long I and other people have lived. Very often, people are told they might only get 5 or 10 years with a heart or lung transplant. To be able to see me and other people who have lived for many years made a huge difference to them. Yeah, I mean, it's also mental. Some of this stuff, you give up on living, your body might just also give up. So it's good to see an inspiration of what could happen. Where was I? Yeah, there we go.
Anthony
Clarkson, an NH blood transplant director of organ and tissue donation and transplantation, said combined heart and lung transplants are very complex and they have a higher risk of organ rejection. But Katie's truly exceptional story shows how organ donation saves and improves lives. Most of us would accept an organ if we needed one, but there are not enough donors. Katie's donors family gave her a chance, but Katie had no other option. But sadly, someone will die today waiting for an organ transplant.
Oh, and that's
if you confirm your decision to donate on the NHS Organ Donor Register, that 2 minutes can save up to 9 lives. The best thing you'll do today. Marius Berman, surgical lead for transplant at Royal Papworth Hospital NHS Foundation Trust, added, "It's fantastic to see Katie continue to live a life full 38 years on a transplant. To see it succeed so profoundly is a testament to the skill of many on the NHS teams, the generosity of donors, and the resilience of patients like Katie. Her journey offers hope to others currently waiting for transplants and reminds us all the importance of organ donation." So there's your little positive news about not giving up on life just because you have a rare condition that makes your heart and lungs not pump blood very well. And luckily enough, somebody was able to donate to her. And that's my story, my shorter one.
That was shorter. Yeah, more liver transplants, huh? Well, I guess, I don't know. I got no sarcasm for this. Maybe we should have spun the wheel again, because it's kind of like, I don't know. I got no sarcasm. Maybe another spin or another topic.
Try to be sarcastic about good news.
Yeah, somebody at least the morticians are out of work. I don't know. No, somebody had to die, right? Somebody had to die for a transplant to happen. So it's not really.
And it was a young girl too, they said. So. Also, hello, Omlin. Right? Thank you for checking in and being first to the stream. I hope you're having a good Tuesday.
It's a mixed blessing, right?
And Omlin says she likes your beanie.
Oh, I forgot I was even wearing it. That's why I'm so warm. Thank you.
Well, I'm so cozy and warm. You're hiding your hair away because it's bald. It's baldness there.
Yeah, pretending I'm bald and I got all this mullet in the back here, right?
Okay, my Segway associate, give us your story, your positive story.
Right, you have 2 stories. Our first one is really short. It says, this is from onlygoodnewsdaily.com. It says the entire nation has been declared as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. Yes. Oh, yeah. Often referred to as, this is from Only Good News Daily editors, which they got it from a bigger story, but that's way too long. And they actually declared 26 news sites. Often referred to as the Galapagos of Africa, the tropical archipelago of Sao Tome and Principe has become the first entire country to be designated as a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. A UNESCO Biosphere Reserve is a designation for an area that promotes sustainable relationships between people and their natural environment, where natural ecosystems and biodiversity are protected, and service models for sustainable economic and social development, and harmonizes with nature. Rising from the Gulf of Guinea, the Iha de Sao Tome Biosphere Reserve protects 436 square miles, or 1,130 square kilometers of volcanic peaks, rainforests, agricultural lands, and is part of the Congo Basin forest system. This biodiversity hotspot, sheltering the endemic Obo primary tropical rainforest, is a sanctuary for unique species like the dwarf ibis and the Sao Tome shrew.
Ooh,
its ecosystems range.
That's a rare animal.
It's a dwarf ibis. Its ecosystems range from coral reefs and mangrove coasts to montane cloud forests. Approximately 130,000 inhabitants, mainly traditions. Approximately 130,000 inhabitants maintain traditions through artisanal fishing, sustainable organic cocoa and coffee cultivation in local markets. The reserve balances economic growth, including ecotourism with the safeguarding of this irreplaceable natural and cultural heritage. The announcement by UNESCO revealed 24 other new biosphere reserves across 21 countries. The new additions bring the world network of biosphere reserves to 785 sites in 142 countries, bringing the total amount of UNESCO protected space to 5% of Earth. While Sao Tome and Principe claimed the historic first, 6 other countries received their first ever designations of chunks of land declared biosphere sites by UNESCO: Angola, Djibouti, Equatorial Guinea, Iceland, Oman, and Tajikistan. Djibouti, my favorite name for a country. So there's your story about the new biospheres being declared by UNESCO, the United Nations deal.
That's some bonus facts for you. Yeah, I didn't even know all those places were protected. Artisanal
well, they're not
fishing.
protected, just portions of them then.
Yeah,
just portions
but this is the only
of
one
those
that's completely protected. Yeah. This
The
is
only one in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Artisanal fishing. What's the difference between artisanal fishing and normal fishing?
One of them, you don't throw nets down, and you just fish without freaking scuba gear and shit. Yeah, spear fishing, and probably you don't use scuba gear. Like you go down and you use your own oxygen, and then
you're not leaving some. You don't have a chance of leaving behind a hook or a wire or anything.
Right. No fishing nets, not a whole bunch of Jesus, wow, I'm just losing my grip here. Anyway, yeah, I think that's pretty much artisanal fishing. I've seen this. There's places in the world where you can like you can go scuba diving for conchs, like the big conch shells, right? And you eat those, right? Because they're delicious. But you can only catch like 3, and you can't use scuba gear. You got to use snorkel, your own breath, go underwater, whatever, but you cannot use scuba gear.
It's a thing in Korea too, I think, the conch diving, and famously Korean women who do it. I watched an entire show about it. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and say the only fishing allowed is something that doesn't leave any debris, or especially drift nets and shit like that. Yeah. All right, then.
The next
story.
Oh, no, that's it.
We're going to talk about... Yeah, no, next story, Wikipedia. We're going to talk about Wikipedia. And who edits Wikipedia? Well, you can. But you better not be throwing some bullshit on there, because somebody will come out and go, what the fuck? Especially the person whose biography you're doing. It's like, that never happened. So we're going to talk about this lady who decided that there's not enough women being given credit for shit. So we're going to fix it on Wikipedia. And this is from mymodernmet.com. Eva Barone. This is one of the few, there's about 5 stories. This is the most recent one, I think. Meet the physicist who wrote over 2,000 biographies.
That's a lot.
2018, Jessica Wade wrote the first of thousands of Wikipedia articles uplifting female scientists. The initial entry was inspired by her meeting with climate researcher Kim Cobb in a conference. Kim Cobb, 2/3 of an alliteration headline. Impressed by her work, Wade decided to learn more about her and look up the scientists on Wikipedia. I thought Cobb was so incredible. Wade said in 2019 interview with AAS, I went to check if she had a Wikipedia page and she didn't. I was just horrified. That's when Wade decided to write one for herself. Since then, the British physicist has dedicated herself to increasing diversity and accessibility within the STEM community, with a special emphasis on women of all backgrounds. Among her many advocacy initiatives are, of course, her Wikipedia biographies, which she began writing in her 20s. In less than a decade, she has created more than 2,000 articles for the online encyclopedia, focusing on women and underrepresented scientists who have been overlooked or forgotten by history. Despite women making up 51% of the global population, only 19% of biographies on English language Wikipedia are about women.
According to Wikipedia, right? They did nothing.
Don't forget, beyond every successful man is a woman, and besides every successful woman is a man complaining. I guess. That's all I can come up with. My God, it's a woman. Yeah, so what's your fucking problem, buddy? Your mom was a woman, wasn't she? You know, despite women making 51% of global population, only 19% of biographies in English language Wikipedia are about women. Wade mentioned in the 2024 podcast recording with Scientific America. And that's not just women scientists. That's women in all professional areas. That's anyone the internet has deemed notable. Now, don't blame it on the internet. That's a concept, the internet. It's not a thing you can touch. It's not a thing that makes a decision. The internet isn't considered, I'm the internet and I'm going to do this today. That's not how it works, man. The internet doesn't decide that. Are we trying to notable? We're taking artificial intelligence to the next level where we act like the internet makes decisions. The actual internet. There's a thing called the internet. It's over there making decisions. No, that's not how it works. Across her research, Wade has rediscovered countless pioneers in their fields, ranging from Dawn Shaughnessy, whose team of chemists discovered 5 of the super heavy elements in the periodic table. 5 of them. 5. That's a lot. I don't think anybody has discovered more than 1. Roma Agrawal, who has led the engineers responsible for completing the Shard, which stands as Western Europe's tallest tower. Gladys West, a black woman born in the 1930s, whose mathematical contributions led to later breakthroughs in GPS technology. Wade's efforts have paid off. She's given a TED Talk, which I don't watch anymore because TED Talks, it seems like, you can own a car. That's a TED Talk now. Anyway, I'm just exaggerating, obviously, but it's basically boiled down to it. You know, anybody can give a TED Talk about anything. And has amassed such prestigious prizes as the Rosalind Franklin Award. She has even been recognized by Wikipedia's founder, Jimmy Wales. Well, he should. Jeez, she's doing your work for you. You're not paying her. But even with a mission as impeccable as hers, Wade has not been without her opponents. Wade's biography on Clarice Phelps, a black nuclear chemist who was part of a team that discovered a new element in the periodic table, faced scrutiny and even deletion from other Wikipedia editors and contributors. In order to keep the entry online, Wade had to put up a fight, and eventually she won. The lack of diversity in science, more than just unfair, it impacts the science we do and the systems we create, Wade wrote in a 2019 article for The Independent. Women make up only 26% of STEM workforce, according to the American Association of University Women, or the AAUW. Another AAUW study from 2022 found that black and Hispanic women only account for 2% of the engineers, while teachers and parents often underestimate girls' math abilities throughout early education.
You're not going to be able to do this, honey. You're too pretty. Okay, I'll never try then. Wow. The end.
Why don't you go bake some cookies and make a man happy? Now, get out there. Please assume girls don't choose science because they're not inspired. Girls are already interested, Wade said in an interview today. Ultimately, we don't only need to increase the number of girls choosing science, we need to increase the proportion of women who stay in science. And we're on to the author's biography, if you want to read that. But that's the story.
Well, I mean, obviously I can speak on this as a person who was a young girl at a moment. And yeah, there's always somebody. The one I still remember to this day, which not really education based, right? But I think it was the first time I remember feeling like, oh, people think I can't do stuff just because I'm a girl. And my science teacher was talking about going to a Native American reservation, and he went to one of those like saunas, basically, you know, hot rock rooms, whatever. And he said, a woman couldn't survive that. And I'm like, things that give the human beings who give birth couldn't survive a really hot room, right?
Yeah.
I was like, that's and I called him out too. I was a 6th grader, by the way, so I was like 11.
The worst thing he's been.
And I was like, what the fuck kind of opinion is that? I obviously didn't say these kind of words, right? Because I was 11, but I was excuse me?
Yeah, you're an idiot. That's the stupidest thing ever. I think
women couldn't survive.
Some kid that's probably the worst pain he's ever had was a stub toe, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I stubbed my toe! I'm gonna die!
Yeah, it reminded me of this, like, when I think it was a famous content creator or whatever, YouTube or whatever, and he's like, I had to go to jail. I thought I had a kidney stone or something. It was just he had bad gas, and he thought he was gonna die because he had bad gas. It's so funny. I don't laugh at the pain. I laugh at the ridiculousness of saying like a whole entire 50% of the population could not do something, right? because of their X chromosome. Like, that's it. This guy was a scientist, man. A science teacher. This guy was a science teacher.
Men are bluffing about their toughness almost constantly. Bluffing about how tough they are. And it's always hilarious when people get in a tough situation and they go, "Oh my God, I can't take it," and they quit. Because life gets hard and they quit. I mean, usually the people that are criticizing the most are the ones that are first to quit because they're weak-minded. They think everybody else is weak-minded too. Says, I'm weak-minded. They must be weak-minded too. Meanwhile, you're sitting there going, I ain't complaining at all. This is easy, right? And this guy over here, weak-minded guy, wants to get everybody on his weak-minded club. Hey, everybody, we're all weak-minded, right? No, we're not weak-minded. We can take criticism. Now go off, go play in the street or something, kid.
All right, our next story and our next segue. Let's roll that wheel. It is hypothetical.
Wow.
Hypothetical about... What are we talking about? I've already forgot. Oh, yes. Whales! The whales have returned to Patagonia! I've had this story for a while.
A whale of a story!
Yeah, we're celebrating. This from Victor Cavano and Mamiro Barriero on AP News. Coming out of Peninsula Valdez, Argentina, after coming back from the brink of extinction, southern right whales are swimming in greater numbers off the coast of Argentina's Patagonia this year, delighting tourists seeking to catch a glimpse of their acrobatics. Peninsula Valdez, located in the Patagonian province of Chubut, is globally important for the conservation of marine mammals, and is home to a key breeding population of southern right whales. And then it gives me a link. I don't know why. I guess it's about southern right whales. Oh yeah, there was they get beached a lot of times. Back in 22, 13 of them were beached on Golfo Nuevo off of Argentina's southern Atlantic coast. Oh. But of course, beaching is caused by stress, climate change, stuff like that. It's not usually like easily to pin down why it's happening. Once an endangered species, as well as the elephant seal and the sea lions, it is now come back. I've seen whales in Canada and California, but this is the best and probably the largest number of whales I've seen in my life, said Tino Vance, a German tourist who recently visited the peninsula with his girlfriend. The southern right whale was nearly exterminated by hunting expeditions up until the last century, before large-scale whaling began. The population in southern waters was estimated around 100,000 whales, before it was decimated to only 600. Since then, it's been slowly recovering at roughly 4,700 whales around the Peninsula Valdez today. Whale watching season in Southern American country peaks between August and September. This year, more than 2,000 whales have been spotted, though the actual number is likely higher, scientists say. Vance, 24, and his partner joined Argentina Andrea Delfino and her children on a boat trip. Southern winds stirred the whales into more acrobatic breaching, a spectacle that leaves an indelible impression on those who witness it. Other tourists prefer to watch the whales from the shore, as it is common in the neighboring Brazil and Uruguay. Watching from the beach, Agustina Godolin fulfilled her dream of witnessing the immensity that borders on the magical and the wild. The tourists were at El Dorado Park, a protected natural area in Puerto Madryn, where whales spend time close to the shore with their young after giving birth. In addition to Peninsula Valdez and other points in Patagonia, the whale's migration route extends along Uruguay's eastern coast and southern Brazil. Santiago Fernandez, a biologist with Argentina's National Scientific and Technical Research Council, is part of a project that since 1999 has carried out 2 to 3 aerial surveys each year along the 640 kilometers, or 400 miles, of Patagonian coastline. This year's count recorded 2,100 whales, 863 of them mothers with calves, and the rest solitary individuals. We're underestimating the number of whales in the area, Fernandez said of the census. noting that it represents only a snapshot since whales move in and out of the same region as they migrate. He explained that in 1999, about 500 whales were counted along the same route, and we're currently seeing a 3% annual growth rate. Fernandez added that another project, following whales, conducted by several national and international organizations, tracks individual whales via satellite telemetry within the San Matias Gulf to the north and the San Jorge Gulf to the south and beyond to better understand their routes. From that project, which began in 2014, scientists learned that once the calves grow, the mothers lead them deeper into the gulfs, whales that are therefore not included in the aerial census. It's like we can't see them, they're too deep down there. But there's a bunch of calves somewhere growing into big whales down there in the Gulfs. The growing population is leading to a dispersal, especially of juveniles and mothers that have already calved, towards the San Matias and San Jorge Gulfs, even as far as the coast of Buenos Aires province. The expansion also brings the whales closer to risks posed by human activity, such as fishing nets and boat propellers. Researchers have found based on injuries suffered by whales unable to return to Antarctica at the end and beginning of their natural cycle. But yeah, guys, go on without me. I can't get there because these damn boat propellers. But either way, even with that kind of somber ending, it's going good. 3% annual growth on the whales. They're returning back to Patagonia. Hooray! Time for your hypothetical. If you got anything hypothetical about that?
How about whales? The only hypothetical I know about whales is the totally made up Bible story about Jonah being swallowed by a whale, which we know is physically impossible for a whale to swallow a human. But hey, it's in the Bible. It must have happened, right? Yeah. Anyway, there's my. The Bible is a book of. It's a book of fables and lessons. If you take it literally, you're a fool. And I think every legitimate clergyman before the 20th century knows that, right? It's just a book of fables, man. This shit didn't really happen. Okay, anyway, sorry. All right, next story.
Next is a haiku for your story. I only have one story this time.
Not to rip on your Bible. I have nothing really against the Bible. It's a fine book, but if you think all that stuff literally happened, no. Whales can't eat humans. They just can't. All right. So hypothetical, or what's your spin?
I'm writing a haiku, so give me something to write a haiku about.
Haiku, okay. So, all right. So we got a 6 to 7 minute story, it says, but sometimes they lie. This is from theguardian.com. Pretty.
It's an estimate.
Sometimes they lie.
It's an estimate.
Yeah, they think I'm going to read all the captions to the pictures, is what they think. It proves it can be done, says the quote. Berlin, the blueprint to bring goshawks to UK city. What the hell's a goshawk? This is from Ajit Narajan. Firing off a rapid kek cries that rang through the park in central Berlin, the goshawks soared high above the trees and circled before swooping down to chase off a ragtag bunch of crows that had begun to mob them from below. It's basically a flying Batman bringing law and order to the city, said the conservationist Dr. Paul O'Donoghue, peering through the binoculars at 2 breeding pairs of the large, pale-bellied birds as they dipped and dived through the sky. They're like stealth bombers. The goshawk is an apex predator, and if O'Donoghue has his way, it will soon be bringing on to light the British cities as well as German ones. In the UK, the fast-moving raptor, which is hunted to virtual extinction and only began to recover in rural regions in the 1960s, is still widely persecuted on shooting estates and grouse moors. Shooting estates? What a thing, right?
Yeah, well, that's why the British biome is so fucked. Right there. Yeah.
We need to murder the birds! By golly, they pooped on my tractor! Anyway, sorry. Fell out of character for a minute. In other parts of Europe, the goshawk is thriving, even in bustling capitals such as Berlin, Amsterdam, and Prague. From Berlin's Victoria Park, Victoria with a K, if you're right, where a large nest sat in a crown of trees less than 100 meters from a large war memorial. The phantom of the forest hunts pigeons in the street and even perches on rooftops. These birds have adapted to the busy traffic, although tall glass buildings still pose a threat. Yeah, you just fly straight into a glass. That's what birds do. They're still good. Hey, that's clear sailing from here on out. I'm right into a window.
Ouch.
Oh, shit. This is the 90th floor, too. Anyway, the birds have adapted to the busy traffic, although tall glass buildings still pose a threat and are far more at ease with a steady stream of dog walkers, runners, and school children than their forest-dwelling counterparts would be with humans. This is like any other part of the UK. That's the magical thing, said O'Donoghue, the director of Rewilding UK, which plans to bring goshawks to Chester and London in the first stage of project introducing them to the cities. It proves this can be done quickly without much fuss, but with so much excitement. O'Donoghue is planning to submit a proposal for the assisted colonization of the northern goshawk to Regulator Natural England in the coming weeks. Okay. The plan foresees the release of 15 birds in each of the two cities, sourced as chicks from wild European nests and UK breeders. He hopes they will come to the rescue of Britain's beleaguered garden birds by preying on mesopredators such as crows, magpies, and jackdaws. I don't know what a jackdaw sounds, but it sounds like an awful thing. Whose populations have unchecked and threatened birds further down the food chain. Their presence should have an immediate effect on brazen mid-sized birds that peck off smaller ones that people love, such, says O'Donoghue, pointing to the similar effect documented in wolves. That's what's called an ecology of fear. Everybody knows the big guys are in town. Oh shit, better behave myself, forget goshawks. Goshawks are here. Anyway, I'm sorry. Rewilding efforts across Europe have faced fierce resistance from farmers, far-right groups in recent years. Oh yeah, the far-right groups. Don't steal our profits, kill the birds! Sorry.
We don't need any of these animals! Oh wait, why are there no animals for us to eat? What happened?
Every time I see far-right, I think selfish, insecure idiot. That's what every time I see far-right. Selfish, insecure idiot. I'm the only person that matters! Anyway, sorry. Rewilding efforts across Europe have faced fierce resistance from farmers and far-right groups in recent years. A big carnivores such as wolves and bears have returned to lands now populated by people. As their populations have grown, they've begun to eat sheep and in some cases attack humans. Go Bears! Get
Woo-hoo!
some! The introduction of goshawk to urban England is unlikely to spark a similar backlash because people aren't going to notice for the most part. The birds already live in other parts of the country, and pet owners and urban gardeners have little to fear from them, but the species has caused tensions even in cities long called home. In Berlin, where an estimated 100 breeding pairs represent the highest known concentration in the world, and other German cities, goshawks have become focus of pigeon and chicken breeders whose birds are being eaten. You're eating my chickens! Yeah, protect your chickens, folks. Manuela Merling de Chop, scientist at the Hessian Agency for Nature Conservation, Environment and Ecology. That's going to be quite an acronym. The HANCEG, who has studied goshawk. I can't say this word for some reason. Has studied goshawk adaptation to urban environments. Used GPS transmitters to track 60 goshawks as part of her PhD, and says although there could be potential benefits from using goshawk to regulate mesopredators in the UK cities, chicks taken from rural nests may struggle to adjust to urban life and stress the need to include all stakeholders early on. Overall, it's a risky business. Ian Henderson, an ecologist at the British Trust for Ornithology, who has studied goshawk behavior in rural England, said it was unclear if the birds would choose to stay in cities and likely that the proposed number would be enough to a significant positive effect on garden bird populations. What will happen in those 15 birds? He said, my guess is they'll probably disperse into the nearest countryside. That's a guess. O'Donnell, who is nonetheless upbeat about the project's chances, the conservationist who has previously been awarded a license to tag the Scottish wildcat, and there's Scottish wildcats? Well, I didn't know that, and a scientific advisor for a project that brought the great bustard back to the UK. Who you calling a great bustard? Argues that approaching reintroductions in the welfare-based manner is the key to success. And here's a picture of one of these beautiful birds. They're really fascinating-looking birds. O'Donihill's first attempt to reintroduce the lynx to UK was refused by the Environmental Secretary of Natural England's advice in 2018 because he was a jackass. A draft application for the trial reintroduction has also met resistance, although the chair of Nature Body recently expressed enthusiasm about the prospects of reintroducing lynx during its 2-year term. Yeah. Oh, you can't have cats, they kill things. Says the humans who kill things. If the Goshawk project goes ahead, the birds will be fitted with GPS transmitter, an endeavor expected to come for almost half of the estimated project cost of £110,000 and be given a steady supply of food for as long as needed after being released. In Berlin, O'Donohue stretched the psychological benefit of city dwellers being able to spot a predator as elusive as the goshawk while they go about their lives rather than placing rewilding projects only in rural areas. It'll inject such excitement, he said. People go to the park to feed pigeons. Soon they'll be going to see goshawks. Dive bomb the pigeons and rip them apart. I don't know. I just say it. I'm not sure people go to the parks to feed hawks, but yeah, maybe. I don't know. To each his own. Where's your segue for my unusually long story?
About birds. My haiku is...
Yeah, but hawks. Go.
Wings
Haiku
of
time.
hope return. Echoes of lost songs take flight. UK's skies reclaim. Here we go. Maybe I love these rewilding plans in the UK, and they need to keep going because, you know, that country has been fucked up by colonialism. You'd think, oh, they fucked up India and Hong Kong and, you know, America or whatever. They fucked up their original land first, right? They really did.
I mean, just think of the fossils
to
they
extinction
find.
And then go other places and hunt their stuff to extinction. Hello? Are you bored?
On the bright side, they have plenty of sheep and rabbits.
Yeah. Woo!
Remember the rabbits? Remember we took that back road that went north of, I think it was like the
went through a
south side.
Road, Farmer Road.
Yeah,
in Scotland,
like the south side of Loch Tay, and we took that road, and you were like, "Oh, look, rabbits!" And like after about 20 minutes, man, just random rabbits over. I'm tired of looking at rabbits.
50 rabbits.
They're everywhere.
Yeah,
rabbits, just everywhere. It was like Utah all over again. All right. I have a Utah story. The first time I drove through Utah, Interstate 70, rabbits. I mean, everywhere. I mean, dead rabbits on the road. Everywhere. Blum, 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 hitting dead rabbits. I swear to God, that's what I was doing. For miles and miles and miles. There were so many rabbits. Ridiculous. Yeah, there's no rabbit shortage. Sorry.
No, it's good. We're going to roll our wheels. Thanks for the bonus story, I guess.
Yeah. Kind of gross, but I just saying, man, it's like, wow, I've never seen so many dead rabbits.
Now you can write a haiku for my story.
Oh, haiku. Ooh.
We're going to be talking about something you probably know all about. In my culture segment, it's a boot camp show on Netflix about homophobia in the military, or at least that's what the headlines say. Boots is what it's called. It's from Stuart Heritage on The Guardian.
Ooh.
One of the pitfalls of the streaming era is that so many shows seem to go unheralded. Last week, Netflix Boots looked likely to be one of them, slipping into the sub-menus without making a noise. However, thanks to the unbelievably positive reviews, the best new TV show of the fall, said US Today, and frothing word of mouth, the military drama is now the third most watched show on the platform. With every passing hour, it seems as though Boots is destined to become the next Squid Game style breakout. So with all that said, is it actually any good? This is Stuart's opinion, of course. I haven't watched it yet. The answer, kind of. Boots is an adaptation of Greg Coops White's 2015 memoir, The Pink Marine, detailing his time in the U.S. military in the 90s, a few years before Don't Ask, Don't Tell became the service's official position on homosexuality. Yeah, we're gonna all act like we're not gay, or just a little bit gay, as military people. military person I've met, every military person I've met is a little gay, okay? They love talking about gay stuff. Anyways, they love loving their homies. It's actually really important to love your homies when you're in the middle of a combat scenario. Because if you don't care about them, you'll just let them die. Hello? You kind of need to love your homies. Anyways, let's go on with the story before I get too excited. It's a subject that's ripe with potential. 2018's The Assassination of Gianni Versace features a thread about a gay serviceman that was more powerful than the rest of the show combined. So hopes were undoubtedly high. And indeed, when this element of the show snaps into focus, it becomes truly excellent. The main character is Cameron Cope. Cameron Cope. I don't know how to say that word. A young man with an overbearing mother who enlists in the Marines almost out of spite. I need to get away from this woman. However, the heart of the show is Max Parker's Sergeant Robert Sullivan, a high-flying NCO whose promising career is threatened by an investigation over his sexuality. Dude, I'm just an NCO. Why do you care who I'm having sex with right now? Parker's performance is extraordinary, clenched and furious and repressed, until the moment when circumstances expose his vulnerabilities. This part of the show deserves all the praises it can get. Its ability to drive home a message through character beats is incredibly powerful, and is difficult to watch without feeling a burning sense of shame or scorn for the discrimination pushed onto those willing to serve their country. It is a thunderous indictment of the military. The problem is that this only forms as part of Boots. The rest, confusingly, is all about how goddamn awesome it is to be a soldier. Some military propaganda, I see. Although there are a few moments where the series threatens to lapse into Full Metal Jacket territory with its deliberately aggressive erasure of humanity in the pursuit of the perfect fighting machine. These are almost always undone by a slightly soggy platitude, as if someone accidentally photocopied an inspiration self-help book into the pages of the script without anybody noticing. Apart from a handful of superficial conflicts, everybody has got everyone else's backs throughout. Kubrick showed military training to be a torrent of unblinking hell. Here, everyone bonds over a competition to see who can do the biggest poo. Remember, this is a British man. That's why he said poo. There's a scene, Stuart promises they're not making up, where a dispute resolved during a Bugsy Malone-style food fight. It is honestly a little like watching a long recruitment ad. Look at that, we're all having a fun gay time in the Marines. This seems to be the biggest problem with Boots. The thoughtful, angry moments are washed away by a slightly craven desire to become the next Orange is the New Black. The more of Boots you watch, the more convinced you become that the Orange is the New Black was its key touchstone. The speed in which the premise is shaken off, so that it can transform into an ensemble piece about a fish out of water who finds himself part of a deliberately dehumanizing community, is staggering. That does sound a lot like being in prison. Like Orange is the New Black, you're given a glimpse into the you're given glimpses that humanize the ruling class. Like in Orange is the New Black, you're shown life on the outside in flashes that become less necessary with every passing second. Vera Farmiga, playing Coop's mother, is almost hilariously undeserved in this regard. And like in Orange is the New Black, the show keeps flirting with flashbacks that show why various characters decided to join the military, similar to how various characters got locked up into prison. Should it return for a second season, a renewed would surely be a formality at this point. Then it seems certain this will be the new format. Quite frankly, that could end up being a pretty decent show. There are many worse things than a heightened comedy drama about a bunch of guys trying to rub along together in impossible circumstances, but this season came out of the gates with something to say. The fact that it was reduced to such an afterthought feels like a wasted opportunity. Boots is two widely different shows fighting for a space of the same time. It's a shame they couldn't be reconciled into a satisfactory whole. So, are you going to focus on military being bad? Or are you going to focus on how military is just a fun club where everyone gets into hijinks? Yeah, it does seem like there's conflict.
So it was.
There. But I guess check it out for yourself if you want to watch a show about that and make your own decisions about whether you like it or not. That's the most important thing about reviews. Get a haiku?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I forgot I had the haiku. All right. Marines take an oath to defend the Constitution, not persecution. I was going to say the Marine Corps is totally gay. When I was in the Marines, we used to get gay all the time. We used to get gay just to piss people off.
You don't have doors on your toilets? Like you all just shit in a room without doors on the toilets or something?
Boot camp, there's no door.
Oh, okay.
Because people hang themselves. But yeah, people hang themselves with their web belts in boot camp. That's why they don't have doors.
Okay.
For no other reason. Yeah, okay. They take their web belt, go in a stall, hang themselves, and you can't get the door open. Yeah, so yeah, that's why there's no. It's supposed to be good Tues Newsday. But I was just saying, if we, my Marine Corps experience was, if you want to piss people off, you acted gay, especially your commander. Yeah,
oh,
like,
really?
Hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, you're kind of cute.
Rub his shoulders or something.
Acting gay is very, very Marine Corps, very, very Navy. At least it was when I was. Doesn't make you gay.
Well,
it's just like to piss people
in the
off.
90s, so it was a bit after your time, I think. But yeah.
I had this one, when I was going to schools battalion, we had this one guy who just went over the top of the gayness, like, and he was our squad leader. He was like, "Oh, Corporal so-and-so, I think you're cute." Just the funniest shit. You can't sexually harass somebody who outranks you, right?
I don't know if that's true.
Well, in the Marine Corps, you basically being a radio tech isn't really the Marine Corps anyway. It's more or less the Marine Corps Junior. Like, we're just playing at being Marines. All right, let's do this day in history. And this day,
okay, let's roll our wheel.
This day, Rocktober. First of all, let's do Rocktober. Let's come back.
The next segue reminds me of a song. Well, I guess that's going to be easy for me.
Hope so. 1957. Let's go back in Rocktober first. Is this Rocktober the 14th? Jesus, halfway through October already. 1957, the Everly Brothers, although it was banned for some U.S. radio stations for suggestive lyrics, the Everly Brothers had their first #1 U.S. signal with "Wake Up Little Susie." Yeah, it's like, oh my God, he spent the night with Susie. Relax, relax. They just fell asleep at the drive-in movie. Dumbasses. Everybody, oh my God, he slept with a girl. What's this world coming to? Whatever. 1959, Bobby Darin hit #1 with his song, Mac the Knife. Ooh, the shark bites. Oh, yeah. He loved that song. From Kurt Weill's Threepenny Opera, the song won the Grammy Awards for the Record of the Year in 1960. Happy anniversary to Bobby Darin. Bobby Darin, of course, was raised by his sister and mom. He thought his sister was his mom, and he thought his mom was actually his grandmom, right? And his sister was actually his mom. Bobby Darin didn't find it out till later. Watch his biography, played by Kevin Spacey, by the way. Great biography. Back to other things. Pink Floyd played their first New Underground set when they appeared at All Saints Hall in Notting Hill, London in 1966. What else we got going on in this day? Frank Sinatra. Did you know this? In 1969, the police in New Jersey issued a warrant for the arrest of Frank Sinatra in relation to his connections with the mafia. What? You just got to know somebody in the mafia and you get arrested for it? That makes no damn sense. No damn sense. Joe Cocker and 6 members of the touring band in 1972 were arrested after a concert in Adelaide, Australia, when police allegedly discovered marijuana and heroin in their hotel rooms. The group were not charged, but instead given 4 hours to leave the country. I hope there's a plane leaving in 4 hours, because it's really hard to leave Australia without a boat or a plane. And there's one other thing I wanted to get into. 1988, Def Leppard. If everybody remembers, Def Leppard were kings of the world for like 3 years. Def Leppard became the first act in chart history to sell 7 million copies of 2 consecutive albums, with Pyromania Their third studio album in 1983, Hysteria, which became the band's best-selling album to date, selling over 20 million copies worldwide and spawning 6 hit singles. Pour some sugar on me. Anyway, there's your 1990 Leonard Bernstein. This ain't rock history, but Leonard Bernstein passed away 1990. Died of pneumonia, composed music for 1957 musical West Side Story. On the Waterfront, Bernstein conducted the New York Philharmonic, aged 25, and wrote 3 symphonies, 2 operas, 5 musicals, and numerous other pieces. And those are your dates in rock history. What else happened in this day in regular non-rock history? We're going back to the date of 1644, where the English Quaker William Penn was born, who oversaw the founding of American Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Big old state full of morons. So, go Pennsylvania. I'm sorry, the bigger cities in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, fine people. The rest of the state, just keep voting for idiots. 1806, French troops under Napoleon smashed the outdated Prussian army led by Charles William Ferdinand at the Battle of Jena. Let's see, what was outdated in 1806? Nobody had tanks. I bet you they were using swords and spears, maybe, huh? Instead of guns? Maybe that was it. Well, they're outdated. Maybe they're using muskets and a rifle had been invented. Did the rifle been invented? Probably not. I don't think it had. I wonder what qualifies as outdated. They didn't have cannons. Maybe that's it. In 1908, the Chicago Cubs beat the Detroit Tigers to win the team's second World Series, and they did not claim their third title until 2016. 108 years of misery, and I don't think anybody was alive to see both. That would be quite a feat. I mean, even if you're 1 year old in 1908, you don't remember the World Series. 1926, English humorist A.A. Milne. So, sorry, I did send you a... did I send you? I did not send you a... video. I'll do it in a second here. I'll get that out of the way in a second. Winnie the Pooh was first published. English humorist A.A. Milne published Winnie the Pooh, a children's book featuring the adventures of a honey-loving bear and his friends, including Eeyore and Piglet. And don't forget Tigger. Tigger. I love Tigger. 1936, during the Spanish Civil War. Remember the Spanish Civil War? That was the other fascism thing going on during the late 30s, early 40s. The first group of 500 trainees for the International Brigades arrived in Albacete, Spain. Our next thing we're going to do is 1943, some 300 Jewish laborers in Sobibor extermination camp in Nazi-occupied Poland staged a revolt, killing several SS supervisors, good for them, Ukrainian guards. Many inmates died, and the camp was subsequently dismantled.
Hell yeah.
So good for them, rising up. 1944, Field Marshal Erwin Rommel killed himself. That's right, why did he do that? Ended his life by drinking poison following the discovery of his connection to the conspiracy to assassinate good old Dolphy. Dolphy Hitler was about to bite the dust, and the bomb went off, and it didn't kill him. Unfortunately, Tom Cruise made a movie about it called Valkyrie, if you want to watch that. It's one of your finer Tom Cruise movies, anyway. 1947, American test pilot Chuck Yeager became the first person to break the sound barrier, which I take issue with. He's the first person to break the sound barrier and live to tell about it. 1964, Baptist minister and social activist. I mean, lots of people broke the sound barrier before this. He just said they became, splat. Baptist minister and social activist Martin Luther King was named prize winner of Nobel Peace Prize, cited for his work involving civil rights and social justice on this day in 1964. That was 61 years ago. 1973, Prime Minister Khanom Kittikachorn of Thailand was forced to step down following huge public demonstrations. 1994, Naguib Mahfouz, the 82-year-old novelist and 1988 winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature, was stabbed by Islamic militants in Cairo but survived. Let me guess, he wrote something that pissed off some religious nut, right? It's like, oh my God, he did that thing in a book. He wrote 3 words together that shouldn't ever be together again. Let's get rid of him. He's a heretic. Infidel. He wrote words on paper. Infidel.
I'm trying to see what he wrote about. But
2007. Society has never been the same since this day. The reality TV series Keeping with the Kardashians premiered. The show's huge popularity and make various family members major celebrities, not only
he
Kim
used
Kardashian.
Muhammad in his books, so you know how they get about that. Yeah.
Make it stop! Oh my God!
The extremists don't like it when you talk about a guy that they also talk about.
Yeah, the same usual suspects. The jihadists are just complete fucking morons. If you're a jihadist, I don't care what the hell your fucking religion is. You're an asshole.
Jihadists is people who are religious extremists, right? For anybody who doesn't know what that word means, it's not just Muslim people. It's also Christians and Jewish people and Buddhists can be jihadists.
Our country is nothing but
Christian.
Christian jihadists, like the frickin' Spanish Inquisition or the Crusades. All them clowns. Yeah. All right. And other days, things that happened on this day. I did send you a video finally. 2 days, 2012, 2 days after arriving at Los Angeles International Airport, the Space Shuttle Endeavour reached its final destination, the California Space Center. Its 12-mile journey through the city required trees to be cut down and signs to be removed. Yeah, the oak tree's been there for 500 years. Get it out of the way! Our featured event, in the year 1066, the Battle of Hastings. In southern England. In 1066, King Harold II of England was defeated by an invading army of William the Conqueror. William the Duke of Normandy, William of Normandy, one of our distant ancestors, our 39th great-grandfather or something like that, establishing Normans as the rulers of England. Yay!
French Viking people, woo! And that's why a lot of people
barbarians.
in England learned French because of the Normans. They wouldn't have known French otherwise. They would have still been speaking whatever vernacular they have.
You never forget. In 1,000 years, we will be considered barbarians. Maybe in 100 years. Our featured biography is Dwight David Eisenhower. We've been through his hometown on our way to Dallas. He was born October 14th, 1890 in Denison, Texas. Right on, I think it's Interstate, 35. Died March 28th, 1969, and age of 78, Washington, D.C. I remember when he died, and they had his funeral on television. It was the same year as the moon landing, so he didn't get to live to see the moon landing. Or Woodstock. Other featured biographies today, we did Eisenhower. It's Hannah Arendt, American political science, born in 1906, political scientist. Ralph Lauren's birthday, American fashion designer. He's turning, 86 today. 86. Happy birthday. Growth Richard's birthday. Turning 85. He's born in 1940. And it's Usher, American musician, rapper, whatever you want to call him. Born in 1978. So turning 47 today. Days today. It's National Real Sugar Day, National Dessert Day, and National Be Bald and Be Free Day. It's only those 3 things. So there's your haikus, your mispronunciations, your technical glitches, your slow readings, everything for today, October 15th, 2025 on Before Real Dessert Sugar.
Real dessert sugar.
Yeah.
Instead of that fake stuff.
Do that. Yeah. I hate the fake sugar. You can have it. Give me that real diabetes.
All right. Well, the song I'm reminded from is there was a Winnie the Pooh movie in which I think Christopher Robin goes to school or something, and Winnie the Pooh and everyone is like, he's left us. Where did he go? And they go on a journey to find him. And then there's this really cute song called Forever. I don't actually know the name of the song, but it's just like, I want to be your friend forever. And I always remember that song for that movie for my entire life. I think when I have dementia and Alzheimer's, I'll probably still know that song. It's the cutest, most heartwarming song ever. So
bother.
And if you ever want to, if you ever want to feel positive, good about yourself or happy, listen to that song. I think it's impossible to not feel happy after listening to Winnie the Pooh and Christopher Robin sing about wanting to be friends forever and ever together. And there you go. There's my
there you go.
my
cool.
song,
I guess I'll flow in the soundboard here.
There's a song got my mind.
Sorry, we're back. I'm back. Okay. I don't know what he's laughing about. Homer he just can't control himself. All right, man.
All right. Let me check if there's any more international days today. There are not. No international UN observances today.
No.
Well, this has been Allison here from the Netherlands. Roger, of course, from the East Coast of the US. As we finish off another good Tues Newsday, we have hopefully re-enlightened some hope in humanity for you, or at least hope in animals. Because there was a lot of successful medical animal stuff going on, which is really great. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube if you're not already, and turn on the notifications so you know when we go live and post a video. And of course, if you would like to support us, we have a Patreon in the description. As little as $1 a month, you can support us on Patreon. So we appreciate all of that. I have not put this mic drop in because I didn't know it was here. I don't think you told me, and if you did, I forgot. So let me put this mic drop in.
Legitimately 2 minutes ago, I sent it to you. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So I did not have any time to download it. Okay.
I mean, your time may vary. This is international deal, so your time may vary. You may have just gotten it this instant, for all I know.
All right, I've slotted it in now. So we will see you tomorrow for Wacky and Weird Wednesday. So we're gonna have the Wacky and Weird news stories. Hopefully, I won't be too late for the show because I have to go get my visa tomorrow. And here is our mic drop moment. Welcome to Watch Mojo.
This beloved bear's name represents both his real.
There's actually a biopic about this too, the invention of Winnie the Pooh, the author.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com.
Named after
and we'll be taking a look
Winston Churchill, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I think it was after World War I is when it was written.
Thank you very much.
Original stories.
Unlike many cartoon characters,
we'll find out
this
now.
honey-loving
Yeah,
bear
you're
is
right.
based on a real-life animal. He was first conceived during World War I when Canadian
There you go.
troops from Winnipeg, Manitoba were being
Winnipeg, there you
transported
go.
to the eastern part of the country before
I did
being
not know
shipped off
that.
to Europe. During their trek, a lieutenant named Harry
This is from the
Colburn
movie
bought a small female
that I've
black
seen.
bear cub from a hunter who had killed its mother. Colburn named
Got
her
it.
Winnipeg
So
after
it isn't
his
after
hometown,
Winston
and
Churchill.
she became the brigade's mascot and
Man,
accompanied them to
I'm
Britain.
smart now.
When the team was sent to the battlefields of France,
I know him.
Lieutenant loaned
I know,
Winnie
that's
to the
Roddy
London
McDowell.
Zoo. Winnie soon became a popular attraction and lived there from 1919 until
Look how
Poor
cute
bear.
British
He
kids
was
were
saved
back
from
in
being
the-
killed,
During
but
that
then
time, author
became
A.A.
a
Milne took his son
circus
Christopher
feature.
Robin to visit the bear. Winnie became his favorite animal in the zoo, and he soon named his teddy bear after her. The author was then inspired to pen a series of books in honor of the animal. In these stories, he made
But
his
they
son
they made him
principal
a
character
yellow
and
bear
gave Winnie
for some
friends
reason. I
based
think
on
because
other stuffed
the
animals,
teddy bear
such
was
as
yellow,
Eeyore,
Don't pay any attention
Right.
to
He was named
me.
after the bear he was holding,
Nobody
right?
ever
Yeah.
does.
which was a yellow teddy bear.
As a token of my friendship,
Mhm.
I'd like to.
That's a big jar of honey, man.
and Tigger.
For a piglet, it is.
Name's Tigger.
I love that movie too, the one about Tigger who he finds out
Winnie
who his
also
family
adopted
is.
the name Pooh. This
That
had
was my
previously
first
been
Winnie the
named a
Pooh
swan
movie was
in another
Tigger.
of the author's stories, but it came to symbolize the sound Winnie made when blowing his nose. Winnie lived in the
One of those
100-acre wood,
learning
and
to
this
love the
location
people
was
who
based
love you
on the
instead of
author's
looking
country
for,
farm.
you know,
The
love
first
in
book,
somewhere other,
simply
some
called
other
Winnie the
place that
Pooh,
doesn't
was
exist.
published in
No,
1926.
Winnie the Pooh is a great
The
show.
stories were beautifully illustrated.
I don't think it's ever done anything bad, but it
and
is out of
captivated
copyright,
countless
so
children. They were subsequently
that's why people made that
translated
weird
into
horror
nearly
movie about
every
it.
language
'Cause
around the
it's
globe.
copyright free now.
The series was so popular
Or I
that
should
it
say it's
eventually
open.
became
What
a
is it called?
favorite
Open
of
source
Walt
or
Disney's
whatever.
daughters.
Mhm.
As a result, his studio began animating
Having
the characters'
children
adventures
definitely gets
in
you into Winnie the Pooh.
1966. By 1977, Disney released his first feature film, and this was a collection of short stories entitled The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I remember that intro, the really long intro of all the animals on the shelves.
Following this was Pooh's own television series called The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which ran from 1988 to 1991. It was around this time that Pooh became Disney's most beloved mascot after Mickey Mouse. The character's popularity...
I mean, who hates Winnie the Pooh? If you hate Winnie the Pooh, you hate life.
And several direct
yeah, that's one. 1997, The Search for Christopher Robin.
And his friends. In 2011, Winnie the Pooh was introduced to a new generation of children with a traditionally animated feature film centered on 5 previously unadapted stories from the original books of A.A. Milne.
You sneezed.
I love that little intro with the opening the book, and then, like, sometimes it'd be on the pages of the book. The kind of, like, meta commentary.
I'll probably catch it too.
Winnie the Pooh and his friends continue to entertain children today, and he is still the most beloved bear in the world. He has remained a favorite
everyone chooses Winnie the Pooh.
Literary character more than 80 years after his first publication.
Also, if you don't wear pants, you call it Pooh bearing or Winnie the Poohing, right? Because you don't wear pants.
Oh, yes.
You're just wearing a shirt, no pants.
And if you lose your tail, what is that called? The O-ring?
Yeah, maybe.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Record.